Hi children, welcome to English Learning. So this is the OL paper discussion playlist, and here this is the 2021 English Medium ICT paper discussion. So in this series, I will be having like a few videos for the full paper discussion, and this is the first part of that 2021 paper discussion. And here I will be basically discussing first 20 MCQs, not just the answers, but with some explanation and what are the other knowledge areas you should have with to answer this particular MCQ. Okay, so hope you know the paper structure and all. So, but let me quickly explain. So it will have 40 MCQs, right? And it is the full paper, like full first paper and the second paper will have 3 hours. So basically, first paper will have roughly 1 hour for this answering section, right? Okay, let's start with the first question. Which of the following is an example for a data processing task of a user? So data processing task means you take some data, raw facts, and then you do some processing, right? The processing part will be different, right? And then you will have some processed data. That means information, right? So of a user only they are asking. So first one, if we read installing word processing software in a personal computer, no, it's not a data processing task. Second one, formatting the hard disk in a personal computer. No, that's also not. Reading an online newspaper using a web browser. So it's just reading. So there's no any data processing task there as well. Last one, calculating the average marks obtained by a student using a spreadsheet software. Now here it's the answer. Actually, answer is the fourth one. Now let me explain what's happening. So here, basically you have input, right? What is the input? The marks of the student, right? So inputs, you take the input and then you do some processing. So what's the processing part here? You get the total. Now think there are about 10 subjects. So you add all these 10 subjects marks and then you divide that particular total by 10, right? So then you get average marks, right? So that is an information. Right? So for that from that information you can make decisions like you can find the class first, right? Something like that. So so answer for the first one will be the fourth one. Which of the following group consists of only input devices? So let me quickly revise you what is input devices. So for question 2, you should know what is input devices and let me tell what is output devices as well. Because in this question, you have to get rid of output devices in the answer, right? So input devices are like data and instructions will be fed to the computer using input devices. And for example, if you think about keyboard, mouse, we used to give or fed input to the computer. But output devices are like producing the processed information, right? So it can be a soft copy, it can be a hard copy, it can be sound, right? So let me tell these are the categories of input devices. So keyboard is the one of the main input device, and then you have pointing devices. Usually we use mouse, but there are so many other pointing devices where you use your finger to point and do, right? Like your touchpad, joystick, touch screen, right? And light pen, track point. So all these things are pointing device which will have a pointer, and you point it and select, right? And then you have imaging and video input devices like digital camera, webcam, CCTV cameras, those stuff. And we have scanners, right? So scanners also, we have so many different kinds like flatbed scanners, barcode readers, MICR, OCR, OMR, even an ATM, we can consider as an input device. Then for the sound inputs, we can use mic or microphone. So when it comes to output devices, which produce information, we have soft copy, hard copy. What's the main difference is in the soft copy output devices, you get some output which is not tangible. We cannot touch the uh, output of the soft copy output devices. For example, monitors like LCDs, LEDs, CRT monitors, multimedia projectors. The output you cannot touch. You can touch the screen, but not the output. And then we have the hard copy output devices like printers and plotters, right? So printers also, we have so many categorization in your textbook like impact printers, non-impact printers, and you should know some examples like thermo printers, inkjet printers, like that. So, but here it's like a very high level knowledge what you need. Sound you can get from speakers, and in a headphone usually a mic and the speakers both will be integrated together. And remember, like something like touch screen you can consider as both input and output devices as well, because um, you can give the input as well as you can produce the output and see, right? Okay, so we'll go back to the question. Which of the following group consist only input devices? Now, if we think about the first answer, you have CRT monitor. So that is wrong. That's an output device. Second one, you have plotter there. So that is also wrong. Third one, keyboard, mouse, scanners. Yes, all three are input devices. Again, for the fourth one, you have printer and multimedia projector. So that is wrong. That is not having only input devices. Third one, which of the following cannot be used to permanently store data, right? So hope you remember about the memory of the computer and all. Let me quickly revise it and show you. So when you take the computer memory, you have main memory, or we call it primary memory, and secondary memory. So the main difference between main memory and the secondary memory, or the primary memory and the secondary memory, is the CPU, Central Processing Unit, can directly access only the main memory or the primary memory. So that's the main difference, right? So when we think about the main memory, we have RAM and ROM, right? So RAM is actually storing your information temporary. Hope you know RAM is a volatile memory. That means when you switch off the computer, all the information or data stored there in the RAM will be deleted, right? So usually what happens is, like when you switch on the computer, data from the secondary memory will be copied based on your requirement, will be copied to the RAM, right? So all the information coming from input devices and what is needed to send to the output devices, these things will be stored in the RAM, right? So if we think about, now I told primary memory is having RAM and the ROM, right? So ROM is not a volatile memory. That means if you switch off the computer, the information there will be not deleted, right? So usually we use ROM. Actually, manufacturers are using ROM to keep all the booting instructions there, right? You may have heard about BIOS, right? So all these commands will be stored in ROM. So it will be not deleted if we just switch off the computer, right? For the booting process, this is a must to have. So that is about the primary memory. So under primary memory, we have something called cache memory also. So here, basically what happens is, now hope you understand, uh, this cache memory is acting as a mediator or middleman between the CPU and the RAM, because the speed of these two, like RAM speed and the speed of the CPU, are different. Right? So therefore, usually we have a cache memory in between, like a mediator, where CPU will first come and check the um, cache memory to see whether that relevant required information is there. So if it is there, no worries, the RAM will take it and go. But if that particular information, sorry, the CPU will take that particular information and will continue the work. But if that particular information was not there in the cache memory, then CPU will then fetch data from the RAM, right? So that is what it explains in this particular diagram. And the second category of memory is secondary memory, or we call it secondary storage or secondary permanent storage. So there are so many things, right? Some people call external storage as well, right? But even though we told external storage, there are internal storage devices as well inside. So better to tell it's secondary memory or the um, permanent memory kind of, right? So here there are, based on the technology they use, we have three categories like magnetic media devices, optical media devices, and solid state devices. For example, magnetic media devices, we have magnetic field. So something like hard disk, floppy disk, magnetic tapes, right? So floppies are not very much used nowadays, but yeah, you can put it under that category. Next thing is optical media devices, where we can consider about CD, DVDs, and Blu-ray. So hope you understand, hope you remember that CD is having a less memory capacity, but Blu-ray is having more data capacity. And then comes the solid state devices, where they have a moving, not they are not having a moving head. Now, if you think about hard disk, we have a moving parts there, right? But here it's solid state, so no moving heads and all. So we call these USB flash drives, that means pen drives, memory cards are as solid state devices. So based on that, which cannot be used as permanent storage, yeah. So answer is obvious. So it should be RAM, because RAM is a volatile memory. Fourth one. So which of the following correctly shows the given storage capacity of a particular computer system in descending order, right, based on their storage capacity? So in your textbook, there is a nice picture, right, to show about the data capacity, right? So remember, register memory, they are having a very less capacity because they are very expensive. So cache memory comes next. CD, I told you CD is about 900 MBs, right? And then we have DVDs, right, up to 9 GB. Then we have RAM, right? ROM, flash memories, hard disks, right? So hard disk will be, it depends. So if you have an external hard disk, you can go for these terabyte levels as well, like 2 terabyte, 3 terabyte, like that. So, and the magnetic tape, so hope you remember it's less expensive. That's the least expensive memory option you can go for, and you can go for larger capacities as well, right? So, see the question. Which of the following should have, now it's about the descending order of storage capacity. So descending order means the highest capacity one should come top. So hope you remember the hard disk. First, the toppest one is the magnetic tape, and then came the hard disk. So they have the highest storage capacity. So as this is descending, you have to start from the most data capacity to lowest. So actually first two answers you can take because of that, right? Because here main memory, that is RAM. So RAM is actually coming here. So that is wrong. So you have to go for these two answers. And remember, we initially had registers, then we had cache memory. So that means RAM is having more memory capacity than the cache memory. So if you want quickly refer this, so cache memory, then only RAM here, right? So therefore, the answer for this particular question should be the second one. So hard disk have most capacity, then the main memory or the RAM, then the cache memory. Fifth one. In a network topology, each network component is physically connected to a central node such as a hub or a switch. So network topologies. So what is a network topology, right? So it's a pattern of how these computers can be connected in a network, right? So there are different network topologies. So first one, yes, that's your answer also, because that's the star topology. In the star topology, you can see there's a centralized hub or a switch, and all the computers are separately connected to a star topology, as separately connected. So here, even though one computer is broken, no worries, because others can continue their work because they are just connected to a central hub. So that this is the answer also for your question. but let's discuss the other topologies as well. So this is the bus topology. In the bus topology, there is a main backbone, right? And all the backbones will based for the backbone only the computers will be connected, like it's kind of a cable, right? So if some separate computer had a problem, no worries, because the system can work. But if you have a problem in the backbone, yes, then there will be a problem in the network. Full network will be down, kind of. Then we have ring topology. So in the ring topology, the computers are positions like a ring. So that means like now this computer is connected to two other computers. So if one computer breaks or if one cable breaks down, then the whole system will be down. Then comes the tree topology. So tree topology is actually a collection of star and the bus. Right? So it's a collection of that, right? Next one is mesh topology. So here, actually, all the computers in the network are connected to each other, right? It's a bit complex one, and it's costly and difficult to control as well, right? So if one computer breaks down, it's actually not affecting for the whole network, right? Yeah, so for the fifth one, each network component is physically connected to a central node. So that is a star topology. Next one. Krishna accessed the official web portal of the government of Sri Lanka to renew her vehicle revenue license online. Which of the following service was obtained? So this is actually G2B, G2C, G2E, G2G. This is from the chapter 1, right? So hope you remember about e-government, right? We have G2C, G2G, G2B, G2E like that. So G2C means from the government, what are the services provided for the citizen? Like you can view all the list of government organizations, you can pay your utility bills, you can renew your vehicle license, right? See, the answer is there already. And you can get a lot of information from the government services like that. So G to G means from a government to government. Like for example, visa information or government law, right? Helping the tourists, right? Those kind of things you can consider as G to G services. G to B means from the government to the businesses, like regarding banking information, based what are the requirements for the business registration, tax information, how to start a business, how to uh, do the investments. So those kind of services are provided as G to B. G to E means government to employee. That means for the government officers, we have gazettes, circulars, like sometimes loan facilities. So those things coming under that. So according to that, Krishna is a citizen. So that person is actually accessing this particular uh, websites and getting some service. That is the revenue license online, getting it online. So this is actually G2C. Next one. If the character A is represented as this binary number in ASCII coding system scheme, what characters will be representing this? So this can be done in different ways, but let me show you some workings. So this is one way to tackle it. Now this is what they have given, right? So this is actually if you convert this to decimal. So hope you remember. So this is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 and 64. So 64 plus 1 is 65. So that is how you convert this into decimal, like 2 to the powers, right? 2 to the power 0 is 1, 2 to the power 1 is 2, 2 to the power, these are zeros, no? So you can just ignore, right? So you have to worry about this and this. So 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2, 3, sorry, 4, 5, 6, 2 to the power 6. That is 64, right? 64 plus 1 is 65. So that is the decimal and it's A, right? Then if you just do, what I have done was I am adding 1 and always I just wrote it, right? So for B, it should be adding 1 to here. So binary addition. You already know if you add 1 to here, it will become 0 and 1, 1, 0. Like this. Because others won't affect if you just add a 1. Then C means you're adding another 1 to here. So 0 becomes 1 here. D means you're adding another uh, 0 here. And adding another 1. So 1, this becomes 0. Again, you're adding 1. So 1, 0, 0. So this is what they have given. So that is 68 and it is D, right? So here, this is what they have given. So there's another way how you can do is you can get this number as 65 and you get this number as 69. So definitely based on the knowledge, sorry, 68. So you get this as 65 and this as 68. So then definitely you should know, okay, that means if this is A, this should be D. So I just show some extra workings, how really this can be happened. But don't try this if it is the like letter Z, you will spend so much time. So the most easiest way is you take the decimal here and you take the decimal here and you can quickly write the letters and see, okay, A to D or A to M. Like that you can quickly get what's the exact letter represented. So for the 7th one, answer will be third one. Next one. Which of the following represents the given four numbers in the descending order? So as you can see, all the numbers are given in different base formats. So you cannot just compare. So you have to make all the numbers into a single uh, single base system. So what I would prefer is all these things I will convert to decimal and then I will compare, right? So here, first number, right? This is a binary to decimal conversion. So basically what you have to do is you have to get 2 to the powers, right? So 2 to the power 0 is, you can skip because it's 0. Then you have 2 to the power 1, 2, 3, 4. And these two zeros you can just ignore. And this is 2 to the power 7, right? So then you add all these answers and you will get 158 in decimal, right? Second answer is anyway given as per the question. Second answer is this one you don't need any conversion, 157. We'll go for hexadecimal thing. Yeah, so this is a hexadecimal one. So you have to go with the power of 16, right? So 16 into 0, 16 into 1, right? So this is actually 10 into 1. So this one 16 into 9. So total is 154, right? So we have 158, 155, and here 154. Sorry, here it is 157. So we have basically 158, 157, 154. And let's see, the next one is actually octal value. So you have to go with 8 to the powers, right? So 8 to the power 0 into 3, 8 to the power 1 into 3, and 8 to the power 2 into 2, right? And you add everything, and it's 155. So basically, can you see this is the smallest one, and biggest one is this, right? So according to that, we need to get the answer quickly. So this is about descending order. So you have to start with the highest thing. You have to start with the highest thing. That means this one, 158. So that is binary number should be the first one here, right? So definitely there is only one answer matching for that. You can directly go for this. Next one, ninth one. Which of the following is the first software that must be installed on a computer after formatting its hard disk? So very easy one. So you should know by now that in a computer, operating system is must to have. So first of all, you have to install your operating system like Windows or Mac OS or in a phone, Android, like that. So then only you can install other application software like Office package, antivirus software, web browsers. So many application softwares are there. So then only you can install them. Okay, 10th one, which of the following group consists of only language translator? So let me quickly remind what is language translator. Yeah. So usually software, if you think about software, what is a software, right? It's a set of instructions given to the computer, right? So software can be classified into system software and application software. So application software, I already told you, it's for the user requirements, like word processing, maybe Office package, like kind of things like spreadsheets, database, computer games, web browsers, video, audio editing games, editing software, um, like that. Okay. So those are application software, like apps in the phone, right? But system software means something bit different. Like first one is the operating system, right? So I hope you know about it already. We discussed in the ninth question. So operating system actually acts as, if I quickly go through here, this diagram, it's actually facilitating the interaction between the user and the hardware. And remember, operating system is doing so many things like software management, hardware management, memory management, process management, device management, security management, network management, right? So many things are done by the operating system, right? So that's the first thing what we should have. And then we have utility software, right? And then the third one, which is relevant to the question, is actually uh, about language translators. I did a small change here because otherwise couldn't see it properly. So under language translators, we have assemblers, compilers, and interpreters. Right? So what is a language translator? Right? So language translator is actually what they are doing is uh, it is doing some translation, like English to French, similar to that. Now, usually a computer program is made of set of instructions, and to write these instructions, we use a language, right? Nowadays, we have high-level languages we call like C Sharp, Java, Python, Pascal, like high-level languages. But actually, that is more human readable, right? But when it comes to the computer always need to have machine language, like in binary language stuff, right? So therefore, it needs a translation from high-level computer. It needs a translation to machine language, right? So that translation is basically done. Uh, that translation is basically done by these translators, and there are a few things you should know. Like for example, assembler is basically for the assembly language. Now, if you remember how the languages, programming languages evolve, it started with the machine language, and then people use some English kind of words like add for in the assembly language, and then we have high level languages. So basically, uh, for the assembler is used for assembly language, and compiler and interpreter are used in other high level languages, right? So if we go back to the question, it's very easy. The answer should be the first one. Nothing to worry because this is very straightforward thing. 11th one is also a very easy one. Actually, it's about keyboard shortcuts. So find and replace is actually third answer. But let me quickly recap some of these shortcut keys you should know, you must know. So Control C is for copying content. Control X is to cut, and when you do some pasting, it's Control X. So Control V is to paste. So hope you know what is the difference between copy paste and cut paste, right? In the copy paste, you have another copy in a different place, but in cut paste, it's like moving from one place to another, right? And Control N is for new. Control O is to open up, like if you work in a Word document, you save it and you close it, and then again you want to open it up, right? And Control S is to save, and Control A is to select all the content, and Control H is to find and replace. That's what it was tested in your MCQ. Next one. Okay, 12th one. So this is about an Excel sheet, right? So this is very easy thing, nothing hard. Yeah, so we'll see. Now they are going with PQRS. So P, what is P? That is what you should know because this is Excel, nothing hard. So this is actually the name box. So you can only go with question, answer 2 and 3. Then PQ, you have to go with this order, PQRS order. So Q is the formula bar. So definitely for the 12th one, the answer will be this one because it's really easy. If you want, let's quickly check. So R is actually showing all the column headers, and these are sheet tabs. Right? So the answer is correct. Okay, next one. This is about Excel, right? And what's the correct formula to be entered in E2 to get the total marks of Sahan? So total marks means you have to add actually B2 plus C2 plus D2. And don't just write like this. It should be with the equal sign. What will be the value displayed in cell A7, right? If you copy this formula. So A1 to D5, you should get all that count stuff. So count means here you only get numeric value things. If you put count A, then it will take all the records like full thing. But because it's going from A1 to D5, so only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So only these 10 values will be considered, only the numeric values will be considered in count. If you put count A, all the values will be considered. 15th one, which of the following actions can be used to move to the next slide in a slideshow? Right. So there are different ways to move to the next slide. For example, clicking the left button. Click. That means click. This is also correct. Right. And pressing the control key. No. Pressing the right arrow. Yes. If you put right arrow also, you can go. So actually A and C will be the answers. Then for the 16th one, which of the following statements are correct about the relational databases? Now, if you read these things, these are directly from the textbook, right? A record is a collection of fields, yes. A table will have so many it's a collection of records, and relational database will have so many tables in it, right? So all three answers are correct here, right? Question 17, actually this question is not very good. We'll see why it is. Because they are asking what would be the primary key of the enroll table, right? So this one, actually you can go with student ID and subject ID because it's kind of a composite key. But because of this question has some confusion, they have given all answers correct, right? And for the 18th one, what would be a foreign key in the database? Foreign key. Now, let me quickly explain what's a primary key and what's a foreign key as well. Primary key, right? So, primary key will be in a table. It will uniquely identify a particular record. So remember, primary key value cannot be null or cannot be empty or cannot be duplicated as well. For example, in this book table, this particular accession number will identify each of these book uniquely, right? And sometimes in a table, you can have 2 or more columns acting as um, primary key. So that is why in that enroll table also, it's like a composite primary key like that you can consider, because you should have both columns together. Then only this will act as unique thing. For example, if you just take 2013, it's duplicated, right? And if you take only cricket, it's also duplicated. But if you consider 2013 cricket captain, it's a unique thing. So then this record will be uniquely identified. So that is why it's kind of a composite primary key, right? And foreign key means that in a one table, it's used as a primary key, but that same record is used in another table like this. For example, this is a subject table. The subject table, you have candidate information and the registration number. So this is the foreign key in this table, but this one is acting as the primary key of student table. So if you go with this registration number to the student table, you can get all the information about the student. This is about the foreign key. Let me go back to the paper. So what would be a foreign key? Now, if you think about this one, subject ID, in the enroll table, it's a foreign key. Now, we will go for the answers and say subject ID in the subject table. No, that's the primary key here. Student ID in student table. No, that's the primary key of that particular table, right? Date in the enroll table. No, date is just a field. Subject ID in the enrolled. Yes. Now this one is the answer. From this one, this is acting as subject ID. So this is the foreign key in this table. But with this one, you can go to your subject table and get more information, because in here, it is acting as the primary key. So here it's a foreign key, but here it's a primary key. Right? So 18, the answer is the fourth one. 19th one, Shane dropped the geography subject and enrolled to political science. So what are the tables need to be updated? So it's Shane, right? Yeah. So Shane's any information change here? No. Student ID and name doesn't change. Subject information? No. Chemistry, geography, those things didn't change. Anything. Teachers' names and all didn't change. But enrollments, yes. So Shane 104 was enrolled to a different subject earlier, but now it's changed. So this table need to be updated. Actually, they have not given this 104 record here. It would be better if they have given here. So that table should be updated. So for the 19th one, it's the third one. You have to update this enroll table. 20th one, which of the following is the correct HTML tag sequence for the web page? Actually, in this one also, they have given all answers correct. But if you want to go for some kind of a answer, because the problem is usually you start the tags and you end the tags, right? So usually you will have head. Usually you will start with HTML tags, and inside you have header. Inside the head you will have titles, and then you have the body. Right? So you can go with this answer, but it's not a very good answer, because again, you can have the closing tags, right? So therefore, for this 20th question, they have given all answers correct. Yeah, so that's the end of the first part of the MCQ. I have discussed 20 MCQs. So we'll meet with the second part. So if you haven't still subscribed my channel, please do subscribe and please add comments and please share these things with your friends. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much.